Welcome back everybody to this what if video. This is again another one. What if, you saw what if Gaijin Impact was in the world of Naruto. Now, we covered the boring part of the what if, just information and some of the storyline, how everything occurs and how everything happens. Now let's get into the thick of it. Now, obviously, obviously I'm going to continue from where I left off. Naruto and Hinata was heading back to the Leaf Village. But what they did not know, and what the old man tried to warn them about, but he knew he didn't have enough time, so he rather leave it for them to discover. But he's quite mad at himself that he didn't basically warn them about this earlier, before it happened. Now, what I mean by this is, as Naruto and Hinata were heading back to the village, they slowed down and started walking. They didn't know why. Their stamina got drained so fast. They were only a few meters away from the hole that they were, and they were already tired, like they ran a marathon. Hinata being more shocked at this because she was trained from birth to be a ninja and have a lot of stamina, but the fact that she got tired this easily is strange. As they started to walk back to the Leaf Village, as they got slower and slower, as Naruto dropped down to one knee, feeling a ton of pain. As Hinata basically asked Naruto, what? As Hinata finally felt the aftermath, or basically the aftermath of what she just signed herself in, as a massive pain flowed over her body. As Naruto helped Hinata up, still feeling this pain, and continue walking, stating to Hinata that they have to get back to the village and then they can rest. But for now they had to continue walking. The pain only increased the more they walked. As they continued, eventually they would get back to the village. Naruto and Hinata basically walking through the gates, as the gate guards would see them, being shocked that they are actually alive. As Naruto and Hinata would drop out of pain absorption, out of just pain, as Naruto would start coughing up blood. This would be the effect that is being placed on their bodies right now from something new that is being introduced to them. As they were cursing at the man, that this man they basically signed the death note, or basically signed their death warrant, and they shouldn't have trusted this man. As they both passed out of pain. Now, what's happening while they were passed out? The gate guards informed both the Hyugas and the Hokage that Naruto and Hinata were found by the gate, but looked like they were in very bad shape. They didn't have any injuries on them, about a few of them, like some scratches, bruises, but that was it. The guards determined to think that what they were experiencing was some type of poison. But when they got to the hospital, it wasn't a poison. It was only happening to their bodies basically, it was unknown to the hospital. It's something that their bodies were doing. Their chakra was basically acting as a poison or a deterrent to fight off something that was busy growing in their body. And the more that their chakra fought this new type of thing that was entering their bodies off, the more it put their bodies in a pain-inflicted, basically, state. As eventually, after holding back Naruto and Hinata from biting their tongues out of pure pain in their sleep while they were knocked out, it stopped. As they stopped, basically, the pain stopped for them, as now they were just dead tired. They were still knocked out, obviously, and in the Hokage's office. The Hokage and the Hyugas were formed As yes, the Hokage came to see the both of them, being glad that both of them were right, but wondering what happened to them. As I don't know what his name is, but Ino's father, don't know what his name is. He's part of the basically I think it was investigation and torture something in the village, don't know its name, as he came to drop in with the Hokage, as the Hokage ordered him to see through these two's memories, see who was what they could get. But when Ino's father tried, he failed. He stated to the Hokage that he couldn't see anything from their memories. It's like something was blocking their memories entirely. Obviously, the crystals, they thought it was some type of thing they had on their clothes. Obviously, the Hyugas were suspicious of this thing, but they didn't pay any mind, thought it was jewelry. Naruto also had the same one, thought it was jewelry as well. It basically didn't pay them no attention. As Hinata and Naruto would rest. As Naruto and Hinata slept, no one could detect, not even the ninjas, not even medical ninjas, could detect the change in Naruto's and Hinata's body. The only one that could see this happening before their eyes was the Kyuubi himself, and he was watching in awe how Naruto's body shifted and changed for this new development of this new energy that could change the world. The Ninetales watched in wonder. This new thing that he's seeing for the first time, this new aura, this new power, it reeks of old lore that even he doesn't even know. It surpasses some of his it expand the power I can't even say that word. Okay, never mind. The power goes past his expectations of what it could do, and he thought in wonder, what could this power do? All I know that this is something unknown. It is not chakra, and it could be very powerful. Very powerful. As the Ninetales watches in wonder how Naruto's chakra coils gains extra coils to I can't even say this word, accommodate, there we go, accommodate this new type of energy that is flowing through Naruto. As yes, the next day they were asleep for 3 days, and this occurred for 3 days. As their energy grew, their bodies changed and morphed. Naruto's one eye and Hinata's one eye changed. Hinata gained a star on one of her eyes, which is one of her Byakugan eyes, and Naruto gained the same. It was a golden star. As a very the power they gained was unknown and really unique. Even to Kuruma, he could not decipher what this power could do and what it held, but he could determine that the jewels or the gifts they got had some weapons in them. Couldn't see exactly what weapons, but it had some weapons to them. Continuing on. Naruto was the first to wake up, wondering what happened and really not remembering much of what happened. It seemed to be his mind was blank and erased. No, don't really know how that's possible, but still, blank and erased it was. Only Only the Kyuubi himself knew what happened, but Naruto seemed to forgot everything or all the events that occur. All he remembers was knocking down the shinobi and falling down a big hole. And that was it. Hinata remembers the same thing, but she doesn't remember landing or waking up after that. She just remembers waking up here. But Naruto is the one that woke up first. Obviously, Hiruzen was called. Hiruzen asked Naruto a few questions, but got no information whatsoever because Naruto didn't know what to answer. He didn't know if he was lying or if he didn't even remember the events that occurred. As I would state, continuing on, Naruto was shortly sent out of the hospital because of his quick healing, but Hinata spent a few days there. Naruto wanted to visit Hinata, but the Hyugas didn't allow that, as this just made Naruto sad. When Hinata woke up, well, you can say the third Hokage got nothing out of her either. Hinata didn't remember everything, or doesn't remember anything. All she remembers is falling down a hole with Naruto and plops. Knockout. She doesn't remember anything else. She doesn't even remember getting the necklace or jewelry, but she decides to keep it anyway. Continuing on, Naruto still has that piece of jewelry that he seemingly got out of nowhere. Doesn't know what it's for, but he kept it on him because he always keeps it on him because he just feels attached to it. Hinata obviously continues her training, still the light heart and very gentle person she is. Obviously this is not approved by her father, still always as in canon. Nothing's really changing. As Naruto is busy training, whether something odd happens, Naruto can determine his speed, his strength, and even his accuracy has increased tremendously. Also, Naruto's wielding of weapons, shurikens, and knives has basically gotten better. He didn't have this much mastery nor accuracy on using his weapons before. So this is a new thing, and it's quite interesting. Naruto hit 8 bullseyes in a row, and he's going to his 9th and 10. He throws both kunais behind him and still hits the bullseye no matter what. Even if he tries to miss purposefully, it's still 3 lines away from the bullseye. It's still close enough. And that's him trying to miss. That's him trying to miss the target entirely, but he still seems to hit it. That was I that good when I started? No, there's no way. As Naruto continues his kunai training and finds there is no use to continue his kunai training because number one, he can't because he seemingly has a lot of mastery already over his kunais. Naruto tries to find some other training that he can do with Hinata. Hinata has got an increase in combat and dodging. Her skills and reflexes increased, so does her sensory abilities. She can discover that she can now sense chakra from just a mile away without using her Byakugan. Impressive. She doesn't need to use her eyes to sense someone is there. And this just increases her effectiveness for being a tracker. She can also identify somebody by their chakra signature. This is the connection Hinata and Naruto has. The small connection though. It's strong enough to give Hinata this slight quirk. Hinata has also gotten a boost in her reflexes and danger sense. Hinata can basically sense something coming like Spider-Man, so like as well as Naruto. But sometimes it doesn't usually click as fast as it does. Continuing on. As Naruto on his birthday was running from a mob of people. Yes, it's Naruto's birthday, and it's one of these days again. Naruto is running fast and fast and fast away from basically a mob of people that are chasing him. They're yelling, "Die, demon brat! Finish what the force started! Kill the brat!" Yeah, as they all chase with weapons and other sticks and stones as they throw Naruto with it. Naruto runs and runs as fast as he can, as he seemingly couldn't escape the mob and gets cornered and beaten. Not to death, but just beaten. Very, very badly. A few minutes after, Naruto's wounds suddenly heal, as he stands up again and is angered. He heads to his favorite training site, as he just starts throwing random blunt kunais at a wooden log. As he's saying how that he's asking the question, why does everyone hate him? Why does everyone not like him? Why does he have no friends? Why is he hated like this? He asks this question constantly and over again, no one seeming to answer, as he asks this constantly every single time. Until eventually he gets so fed up, in his rage he throws out his hand. In his rage he pulls back his hand, grabs something long and throws it at the target, as the wooden log gets impaled by some sharp object. Bam! As Naruto opens his eyes again and looked what he threw the thing at. As a sword appeared by the bullseye spot. As Naruto was confused, Naruto looked around and didn't understand. He only had kunai with him, but now there's a long sword that seemingly was thrown out of nowhere. Naruto didn't think it was him, obviously, and then he thought. Naruto walked up to the sword, looking around and being very, very cautious, thinking that there's someone here, but really there was no one. Naruto grabbed the sword and pulled it out, as it felt right. It felt right that the sword was in his hands. It felt like it belonged there. As Naruto swung left, swung right, as he kept on swinging the sword, as the sword started changing its size to suit the type of size that a child would have, or a person his age would have. This is just before Naruto enters the academy. So, yeah. Off with Hinata. Hinata had the same problem at the same day, but really she also hid it quite well from her parents, or from the Hyugas. She was busy training on her lion fist that she wanted to master, until she manifested a random weapon, a spear. She grabbed the spear, also feeling that it just felt right in her hands as she started using it. Both Naruto and Hinata started using the weapons that they suddenly manifested from nowhere, as they started swinging and basically training with it. It felt fun. Naruto felt free using the sword. He swung left and right as gusts of wind can be heard. Whoosh, whoosh, left, right. As Hinata had also a similar fun thing while she was near the river, seemingly dancing while moving this long stick that seemed to adjust to her size. As yeah, they used this weapon for a while. until until a heavier weapon that Naruto finally discovered how to use appeared out of nowhere. Naruto stuck his hand out and concentrated. Concentrated on a silhouette of a weapon. The weapon was big. It looked like it needed two hands to hold it, as it appeared. Naruto grabbed it with one hand and suddenly found out that the weapon was too heavy. He let go of his smaller sword as the sword faded from out of existence. As Naruto picked up this heavy weapon as it adjusts. This thing is heavy. Even if it's getting smaller, it's still heavy. As Naruto picks it up with two hands struggling a bit. As Naruto swings this big thing around. As this thing is quite big to move. Hinata also did the same thing, but instead of getting any other weapon or big weapon, she got a bow. She pulled back the strings as the arrow just appeared in the palm of her hands as she started using this bow for long-range attacks. Discovering that they have weapons, seemingly if they imagine certain weapons, they don't exactly know how it works. But because I'm not gonna explain it through story, I'm gonna explain it to you right now. The way this works is, in Genshin Impact, you have many different weapons that have many different skins, and certain people use weapons in different ways. In this what if, I'm going to do a similar concept, but not with the same gosh weapon. I'm going to choose either one spear or two spears for the both of them, and they are going to use it. And I'm only going to use specific weapons. I'm also going to add weapons that are not in Genshin Impact, but still, I'm going to use them. Such weapons being crossbows, and even mallets and I'm thinking even mallets and literal whoops. Any weapon suffice, whether it be a scythe or twin knives. They will be able to use it, and you'll see what I mean by that. Also, I'm going to add the swap elemental thing, but I'm not going to add it. You're going to see what I mean later. As both Hinata and Naruto were quite excited, but Hinata got the feeling that her basically clan won't be excited for this. And really, she didn't like the feeling of her thinking that if she tells her clan, maybe, yeah, she just turned that down immediately. Continuing on. So you guys just had something and a sweet. So yeah. Now, Hinata obviously, being trained in the ninja arts, knew that this was not normal. She wanted to tell her father, but decided against that. Reasons being, the way that Hinata was being technically treated right now, she didn't feel quite that certain that it would be okay to let her father know about this. She would tell him at a later time, but right now she needs to learn more about this. As Naruto thinks that he got a unique ability that no one else in the village has, that this ability is quite cool. It's something of his own, as he tries to name it but couldn't come up with any name. Continuing on. We skip a few days into when Naruto entered his class for the first time, seeing all the clan heads and clan prodigies, including the shy Hinata. Well, at this point, Hinata was acting quite different. Hinata was still acting shy, honest. Obviously, the original canon Hinata, but really she was only pretending. She really started changing the way she thought about things, and she really started changing the way she does things. She also learned from a book quite recently that a ninja should hide their abilities and skills. So did Naruto. Don't need to tell you where he got that book from or where he got that information. He heard a bunch of Ombu speaking and they quite didn't notice him. Really, reasons why they didn't notice him. Number one, it's quite hard to spot somebody's chakra or sense it if number one, that person can sense their own chakra, and number two, they can sense yours. So it's quite hard to find someone like that. And it's quite easy for Naruto to overhear some certain things coming from Ombu or even his Jonin that he takes to heart. A few days go by as Naruto and Hinata trains with us, discovering that they also have elemental abilities. They can use certain elemental abilities that doesn't require jutsu, but it does require them to use one of the weapons that they summon. They can use either from wind to fire to lightning, water, and even earth, which is named differently. They have to name earth Geo for it to work. They also got wind, which is named anima for odd reasons that I don't know why, and even nature, which is named another thing. But really, none of them have nature. Well, technically they do have nature, it's just they can't use it. Continuing on. They also discovered that their jutsus, Hinata discovered, plus Naruto, that their jutsus can also affect their abilities, whether they be using ninjutsu or even the elemental attacks. Elemental attacks like combos they can use over the jutsus that they use. So let's put in for demonstration. Sasuke uses the fireball jutsu, and then if he had this power he would use a wind gust to boost that basically that fireball jutsu. Or he would or if Sasuke had this ability, he would gain a sword, cover this sword with a bunch of wind energy, while Colt using his Phoenix Jutsu to set it ablaze, mixing with fire and wind. Something like that. They can also coat any of their weapons, and I mean any weapon they pick up, not just the original weapon with the element, but the weapons that they gain, such as the bow, swords, hammers, or other things like that. They can only use special elemental attacks with that. So yeah. Also, the elemental attacks determines what they can do as well. Wind, obviously, wind, fire, water, geo, especially geo, lightning, I don't know that one. Or I'll just say it as its original terms. It's hydro, pyro, hydro, 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 pyro. Gosh, even I forget these names. Hold up, give me a minute. It's hydro, it's pyro, hydro, something with the electricity, fry. No, it's Cairo. Ice is Kydro. They can also use ice for some reason. That's a release for their new abilities. They can also use ice now, and even wood, but they don't even know how to do that, so they don't know they can even use it. They just think it's an element they can't use, even though wood is something that they could use. Their weapons that they discover they have are a lot of them, from hammers to axes to swords to literal spears and bows. Shields with long swords and in between. Also, their geo abilities give them unique stuff such as shields or even stuff like that. Either give them jumping platforms, and their chakra mixed with the energy that they're using to use these abilities. Yeah, it just, they are technically somewhere above tuning, high tuning. But Naruto and Hinata took one step ahead. As soon as they knew they got this, they started trying to discover their ninja element. Ninja element obviously being all 5 elements, because they do have in their other powers all 5 elements, plus ice and wood, but they don't know about that. So they're obviously going to have their new and improved ninja elements, chakra elements, all 5: wind, fire, water, earth, lightning. I would say also ice. They also have a certain ice release and wood release, but it doesn't show um, Kikigengkais on a chakra paper, so they don't know that. They only think they have it in their other powers that they are using at the moment. As Hinata still continues on her Jugen, trying to get stronger, also picking up a few jutsus by a clan. Naruto, on the other hand, not that fortunate. All he can get out of the basically general library is the jutsus that are following this. He got Water Dragon and Water Bullet. He got Mud Bullet, or Earth Bullet for short, Lightning Bullet, Wind Bullet, Wind Gust, or Wind Breakthrough, Phoenix Flower, and Fire Bullet. That's it. He only got that from the ninja library so far. He also tried to do clone jutsu, but that is the hardest jutsu to do so far. Reasons being his crap chakra control. Hinata has a lot of jutsu, very little chakra. Her chakra pool is very small, but it's been increasing over the years. For some odd reason, she hasn't been doing chakra training, so it just has been increasing. Naruto's chakra control has also slowly been increasing. He hasn't been doing any chakra control training, but it has been increasing for an unknown reason. It's like some type of force, it's like some type of opposite forces in the universe trying to basically equal another person's power with his power, so they can be on the same level. That's what Naruto thinks. That's what Naruto thinks. Stupid way of thinking, but he's kind of right. Continuing on. Naruto, while he was at the academy, kept on failing his exams until the final year. Naruto was really bagging it and really praying that he would pass this final one, and Hinata was also hoping the same thing. Really, Hinata still has a crush on Naruto, but she's way more braver now. You can say she grew quite a backbone after the wild, but she still acts shy. No one can tell that that she's acting shy. Ah, I snapped cracked my neck for, but sorry about that. If you heard that, yeah, that was my neck cracking. No one realized that Hinata was, how can I say it, acting, but still, she did act quite well, and no one could tell. She also, for some reason, pulled a few pranks here and there. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just started coming up a few times. Hinata had the urge to just pull a prank there and then. Also, Hinata was open, but not that open. But she did watch Naruto, her crush, quite closely because she felt some type of draw to her, or to him, or she was drawn to him for some reason. Now, if you're wondering about that star in Hinata's left eye, it's still there, but really no one can notice it. Naruto also has a star by his right eye. It's there as well. No one can notice it either. It's really so small and so like not there and out of the way. No one really cares. As yes, the teacher would come in. I think his name was he would come in telling everyone that the final day of their exams is here, that they should get ready. And obviously do the training, obviously they do the test. Sasuke still got Naruto. Naruto putting up quite a good fight. Still gets his ass whooped. Still gets his ass whooped by Sasuke, sadly. He couldn't use any of his unknown abilities. He doesn't want to show that at the moment. That's his trump card. Gets his ass whooped, but does get a few points, but gets sabotaged by you know who, obviously. Still the same thing that happens in canon. Naruto does bad on the test, but he does a little bit good because he knows some things. He does do some studying at the library. He needed to get his jutsu somewhere, and the library was the only place. He also got the hinge jutsu from Hiruzen, and Hiruzen is also the one that taught him some jutsu, but not a lot. He knows how to body flicker. He knows how to use the body flicker as well, which is also quite interesting. Naruto starts doing the final test. Naruto performs substitution, substitutes with the log in the corner of the room. That's good, Naruto. Now perform the next jutsu, the hinge. Naruto performs the hinjutsu. The hinge jutsu turns into Old Man Hiruzen, or what he calls his Gigi. It was quite odd seeing Hiruzen with a smile, but anyway, Naruto poofs back. Next one. The clone jutsu. Naruto tries to perform the clone jutsu, but he overcooks it and fails again. That's another failure, Naruto. As Naruto sighs sadly. Every time he can never do this clone jutsu. The stupid clone jutsu is the only thing that's holding him back. And really, he's pissed at it. Everybody gets their headbands. Naruto doesn't get one, but obviously by the same person he gets fooled and yeah, steals the Forbidden Scroll of Ceilings at the same time learning a jutsu. The Shadow Clone Jutsu. He always failed at clones, but maybe this thing might change as he performs the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He doesn't get it right a few times, but until that person that asked him to steal the scroll, you know who, I think, gosh, I don't know his name, but I'm not going to worry about his name at the moment. I'm going to continue with this what if, as he tells Naruto to give him this forbidden scroll. Naruto thought he passed, but he didn't and was fooled by him. As at the same time Naruto stated, "No, you fooled me. Now you're trying to steal the scroll of sealing? Why did I ever trust you?" As this guy starts blabbering and talking until he starts stating, "Do you know why everyone hates you, Naruto?" As Naruto doesn't really know. Until obviously his sensei comes to save him. As at the same time he spills the beans about he's the Nine-Tails, the QB reincarnated, gets shocked, get pissed, and then his teacher, obviously to save the day, states that Naruto is not weak, that Naruto is not the Nine-Tails, that Naruto is only the jailer, and that's it. He is only the scroll, and the QB is the kunai inside the scroll. There's a difference, and that he, as obviously he gives him a speech as Naruto, same Naruto, basically states that he's going to become the ninja, he's going to become a hero, and one day he's going to become a Hokage and show everybody that he's not the Nine Tails and they'll have to respect him. Same thing as always, as Naruto yells, "Believe it." As a bunch, he makes the Shadow Clone Jutsu hand sign as more than 10,000 Shadow Clones appear around the battleground. As obviously, same in canon, Naruto beats him down, but with a bit more skill and finesse. The clones dispel as Naruto is passed out, as he states that Naruto, you are one true shinobi, and I state that you pass, as he takes off his hidden leaf headband, or his headband for the hidden leaf symbol, as he ties it around Naruto's head, stating that you are a true shinobi. Taking both the Forbidden Scroll and the traitor plus Naruto to the Hokage, or taking Naruto to the hospital, and the Anbu solves the rest. Next day, classroom. Hinata was quite sad that Naruto didn't pass, until she sees a blonde-haired Uzumaki walk through the door with a Leaf Village headband, as she's shocked as she gives also a grin, wondering how that Naruto passed, as Hinata or Sakura Haruno states, "Naruto, what are you doing here? If you didn't realize, only ninja that pass are supposed to be here, right?" As Naruto states, "I pass. Take a look," as he points to his headband, stating how he passed and that he is now a ninja. Continuing on. Obviously, the basically senseis are announced, and the senseis are slight change here. Sakura will not be on Team 7 this time. Hinata will be on Team 7. Because the third Hokage, wants to keep a close eye on both Hinata and Naruto, because they were kidnapped and something happened to them. He just doesn't know what. So he placed one of his trusted Anbu to watch them. Obviously we know who that is. Dog. Anbu Dog, aka Kakashi Sensei of the Sharingan. Copy ninja, copied over 1,000 jutsu, but cannot use any of them. Also wielder of the Sharingan. Well, just one Sharingan though. Also creator of the famous jutsu Chidori. Or the famous jutsu, I think it was... it is Chidori. As, quite impressive. And he'll be training Team 7 with the both Naruto Uzumaki, Nine Tails. Basically, everything says about Hinata, Naruto are false now because they have been training. Chakra, mid-cage. It's a mid-cage chakra pool. Chakra control, low and low tuning. Low. His chakra is worthless. He can barely control it. Taijutsu, unknown. Basically normal academy. Genjutsu, none. Taijutsu, like I stated, basic academy. Taijutsu. What else? Funjutsu is none. He has no sealing capabilities. Kenjutsu, which is weaponry, he has no master of weaponry whatsoever that they know of. That is false. and he's a censor. So also the Cage of the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, he might also have a bloodline. He might have a bloodline that I might give him, depending on how things go. Continuing on, Hinata, Hyuga. Clan Hyuga's famous bloodline, or Dojutsu, or Gen Dojutsu, obviously, Byakugan. No Genjutsu that they know of. Medical, or yeah, Taijutsu. Taijutsu, Gentle Fist. What else? If I'm thinking. This is off the top of my head, guys, so I'm just thinking, yeah. Funjutsu, she knows zero Funjutsu that they know of. Jutsu in general, like ninjutsu in general, both Naruto and Hinata, basic that they know of. Hinata and Naruto was quite discreet when they use their abilities, especially their jutsu. So it's just basic. Naruto also has jutsu under his belt, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and that's it for his jutsu that he knows that is not basic academy based jutsu. Um, Kenjutsu Weapons. Basically, she knows no weapons that they know of. She can use no weapons that they know of, and that's it. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha has no dojutsu yet, hasn't unlocked it. Or, yeah, he hasn't unlocked his dojutsu yet. Also, the following stuff, as I stated, all basic academy things, but advanced jutsu, the jutsus he has under his belt is Fireball Jutsu, or Great Fireball Jutsu, Phoenix Fireball, and that's it. That's the only two jutsus he has that I know of. Or that they know of. Illusion Zero and yada yada yada. I don't need to explain the rest. As this is a quite unique team, both of tracking and frontline defense. This team is going to be a brutal team in taijutsu and ninjutsu. In taijutsu, Hinata and Sakura. In ninjutsu, Naruto and Sasuke. This is going to be a brutal team for number one, frontline defense, reconnaissance, collecting information, and scouting. So yeah, this team has it all. It's like one good package, just with Hinata and Naruto and Sasuke in the team. And when both of those two unlock their dojutsu, and when Naruto might get his bloodline, they're gonna be even more of a dangerous team. So yeah, continuing on. As they wait, with Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke waiting in the classroom alone. They wait and wait and wait for their sensei. 2 hours later, Kakashi finally shows up. Hinata really didn't say anything. The only person that stated you were late was Sasuke. Naruto also stated you were late, but didn't throw his tomfoolery. He was just distracted with another thing. As Hinata called out Naruto as he was brought out of his distraction. As Naruto was like, oh, Sensei's here. As this is quite odd for Naruto, because he's always the loud one and brash one, but the fact that he didn't do that, that took some notice, especially to Kakashi Sensei. Hi, I am your Jonin Sensei. Kakashi, meet me up on the roof and we'll continue this conversation. As Kakashi Sangshuing, or Kakashi basically moves at very high, basically he uses his, I guess, flash step, because I can't say Sangshuing because that word I'm not good at saying for some reason. He flash steps all the way to the roof. Simple. Now, when he flash steps, he disappears in smoke. As they all walk up to the roof, as Kakashi states, so, tell me about yourself, introduce yourselves, tell me your likes and your dislikes. As the person to speak up was Hinata. Sorry, Sensei, like how? Ah, I see. Your dislikes, your likes, like, I'm Kakashi Sensei. My likes? You don't need to know that. My dislikes, you don't need to know that. My dreams and admirations, I have none. Um, what do I want to be? Well, you don't need to know that. Dreams and aspirations, you don't need, you, basically he has none. As, yeah, everyone, like, basically sweat drops steady and we learn nothing about our sensei. Continuing on. Hinata goes first. Hinata, obviously her dreams and aspirations to become a strong kunoichi. Sorry about that. And also change the way the Hyugas, you can say, change the way the Hyugas basically run their clan. And finally unite the main branch and side branch. Also to become a strong kunoichi and help a team as best that she can. Naruto is next to become Hokage. His dream, obviously, his likes, dislikes, ramen, yaya. Obviously, know that if you know Hinata already, you know her dislikes and likes already. Sasuke, still emo vibe, brooding Sasuke, nothing different with that. Now, let's continue. As Kakashi says the following: meet me on training ground 7, don't eat or else you're gonna vomit. That's a suggestion. He's suggesting that, by the way. He didn't tell them not to eat, he's just suggesting. You don't need to eat or else you're gonna vomit. And also, yeah, that's it. As he poofs away, as Naruto stands up, stating, well then, I guess that was it for the introductions of our sensei. I'm going. Peace. As Sasuke also starts walking away, Hinata was the last person to walk away. As Hinata wanted to follow Naruto, but left it to, she has better things to do than stalk her crush at the moment, like training. Because really, she has a determined view of what she wants to do, and she's going to complete it no matter what. As Kakashi Sensei comes out of the tree, this team is gonna be interesting. Because if you didn't know, no one's gonna talk in this team. What I mean by no one except for Naruto. Hinata is a shy girl and Sasuke doesn't like talking, so it's gonna be very little conversation. As Hinata and Naruto heads to their supposed hidden training ground while they train with their weapons. Naruto and Hinata are swapping between weapons from spear, axe, and even hammer and shield, that being Hinata and maybe even Naruto, swapping between weapons so they can catch their opponent on surprise, swapping between light weapons for quick and elegant attacks with very skilled movement, and then swapping to heavy weapons for heavy attacks and heavy impacts. As Hinata jumps in the air, or Hinata jumps in the air while doing a backflip, while summoning in a massive hammer with a stick at the end, with a long stick. As she catches the hammer between her legs, spinning it all the way up, as she grabs it at the back of her, basically, hands, as she swings it down over her head, doing an overhead strike while in the air, using the momentum of the heavy hammer to make one hell of a blow. While Naruto was doing something else. Naruto was swinging his sword left and right, maneuvering his sword between his left hand and right hand from swapping hands from behind him and even in front of him, to throwing the sword in the air while it spins, catching it with the other hand, and then summoning a spear. He kicks his leg out while the spear is basically near his leg, as he points it directly to the spot where he kicked. As it made basically, yeah, skills. That's all I can tell you. Naruto and Hinata pants at the same time, even though they are on totally different training grounds, as they both remove their weapons as they turn in for the night. The next morning, Naruto and Hinata obviously don't eat, so does Sasuke, and head to the training ground specific time. They wait at least 2 hours, they get hungry as Kakashi finally shows himself. So, as I would state that Naruto would yell, "You're late!" As Kakashi states, "I'm sorry, I was just caught on the road of life. There was a black cat in front of my way, so I decided to walk the other way and take the long one, then risk getting bad luck. There was also a lady that was struggling to cross the road, so I helped her." As, yes, Naruto yells, "Excuses, excuses. I'm hungry. Can we just get this over with?" As Kakashi states, "Eager, I see. Well then, let's begin the test." As Kakashi explains, the test obviously being the same belt test as in canon. Begin. As both Hinata, Naruto, and Kakashi and Sasuke book it to the trees, Naruto not staying to fight Kakashi in the original canon like a dumbass that he is. He is using his noggin, and he's using it well. Naruto is already coming up with a bunch of strategies to defeat this Kakashi sensei that he knows nothing about. Naruto needs more information, so he's gonna leave it up to his team to bring him that information. A long hour of waiting. And Sasuke has gotten annoyed. If no one else is gonna attack, he is. As Sasuke came out of the forest with a massive fireball. As Kakashi sensei basically closed his book and in surprise and shock sees this fireball. Who thought the young Uchiha had so much chakra? As he placed his book in his coat and dodges the fireball and starts engaging taijutsu with Kakashi sensei. Still ending up staying in canon, Sasuke losing the battle. But this gave him enough information that Naruto and Hinata needed, as Naruto was the first person to engage, the second person to engage. As Naruto directly, once Sasuke has been defeated, engages Kakashi, making a few shadow clones before he does. As you see one Naruto rushing out of the forest screaming, "Here!" As Naruto swings a punch to Kakashi, Kakashi catching it with his left hand. But he failed to see the second clone that was behind Naruto basically sending a downward kick to Kakashi, or a thrust kick to Kakashi, Kakashi blocking the kick with his right hand. As Naruto this clone Naruto in his basically momentum bends his, I guess not bends, but with his momentum, agile, like slowly, basically grabs Kakashi's one right hand and pulls it to the side while the other clone pulls it to the other side. What the? As two clones grab Kakashi's legs, as Naruto appears from nowhere and two Narutos appear from nowhere. As they both use their Naruto special attack. As Kakashi was about to get hit by a double kick until he basically got loose of the clones, or substituted, before the real Naruto could get the bells. The real Naruto was behind Kakashi, as Kakashi stated, a pretty good technique, but you're not gonna get me that easily, Naruto. As the clones fell on their face, dispersed, as the real Naruto was like, he got away. Kakashi substituted in the battle, while laughing to himself. Quite smart, but not so fast. Not gonna make it that easy on you two, you children. As Hinata states, is that so? As her Byakugan activates, Kakashi didn't pick her up until the last second. As now Kakashi has to go in a brutal taijutsu fight with a Hyuga, which is basically committing suicide. Her Hyugas are known for their taijutsu and gentle fist, as Hinata already hit some of Kakashi's Kenjutsu points. I think that's what you call it. But anyway, as Hinata hits all the points of notice that Kakashi has, which is basically 7. As Kakashi Sensei backs off because she knows it's not going to defeat a Hyuga in Taijutsu. There's no way. It's basically dangerous as Naruto appears behind Kakashi. Got you! As Kakashi wasn't basically Kakashi didn't expect this as Naruto's clone comes in with a punch. Punching Kakashi directly in the face, Kakashi was a bit stunned how strong that punch is, but really not that stunned. He's a Jonin, obviously. He's not going to be that stunned. As yes, both now Kakashi is dealing with both Hinata and Naruto at the same time. Quite a deadly duo, until Naruto starts using his ninjutsu. Then it just got worse. Naruto states, Earth style, Earth bullet jutsu, as he basically takes in a bunch of air, fills his lungs with chakra, and spews out a bunch of mud bullets. Bam, 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 bam. It was Kakashi Sensei had to go maneuver as he's now dodging a Hyuga plus a flinging Naruto that flings jutsu like it's nothing. Naruto is a chakra monster, so he's not running out of chakra anytime soon, not with this low rank in jutsu. Naruto has enough chakra control to do a lot of these jutsu. Enough of it. Hinata can also fling some of the jutsus that she can use on her own, like wind palm and such what. But she only knows 2. As the fight continues on, Hinata closing some of Kakashi's basically points, as Naruto also flinging jutsu, Kakashi eventually dismantles the group. Not until a saving grace from Hinata. The fight was about to end very quickly until Hinata, before Naruto got captured, did something unusual. A spear started appearing next to her as she grabbed it with her feet, spun it around as it moved from her legs all the way to her hips, and then tried to attack Kakashi while the spear was spinning. Kakashi had to let Hinata go because that was unexpected and dangerous. Hinata used her feet to pick up the spear and states, now you're mine, as she basically with an unknown determination that Kakashi just discovered she had, starts wailing on Kakashi with her weapons while swapping between them, swapping from spear to axe to even sword for quick and gentle movements, which is sword obviously, one-handed swords, and from heavy attacks such as axes. Oops, mouth, sorry. Burp there. Okay, I'm done. Okay. From quick, and I say quick movements to heavy movements, swapping to her axes and battle hammers. The heavy attacks are usually she's keeping her momentum and swings that she gains from her fast attacks and leading it to the big attacks, which is connected to the hammers and whatnot. Because the hammers move slower and she wants those big weapons to pack a big punch. As when she spun around with a spear, she used the momentum of the spear while changing into a hammer. As that hammer with the momentum she gained knocked Kakashi back. As Naruto saw Hinata, while with awe, she's using the same weapons he is using, but they are a bit different. As Naruto, not wanting to get shown up because someone else can use this ability, using his own ability at the same time. As Kakashi gets knocked back by this hammer, he gets hit by this wind arrow that just lights Kakashi up with a wind gust that sends multiple wind blades all around the target. As Hinata looks behind her, wondering where that came from, as see Naruto with a bow, stating, "You think you're the only one that can do that?" As he gives a fox grin at the same time. As at the same time, while Hinata is shocked, Naruto swapping to his sword and countering Kakashi's kunai. As he states, "Come on, we gotta kick this guy's ass!" With a smile at the same time. As Hinata gives also a smile and starts attacking Kakashi. A few hours later, just as they are about to get the bells, time is up. What happened to Sasuke Uchiha, by the way? Sasuke Uchiha is trapped by the double decapitation suicide, which is the earth-style jutsu that Kakashi uses for the entire time. He's also been put in under a genjutsu. He also was knocked out by Kakashi, and their team didn't bother to wake him up at the moment. So yeah, while Sasuke was basically underground like a mole, with his head sticking out, the only thing he's sticking out is his head, and knocked out, they were showing some skills. Swapping Hinata and Naruto swapping between bows, swords, and even using ninjutsu to boost their attacks. When Hinata would pull out her wind bow and fire an attack to Kakashi, Naruto would try to come up with a fire attack, which is the only fire attack he knows, is Fire Phoenix Jutsu and Fireball Jutsu, and boost that attack with flame. This battle was quite dangerous for Kakashi mostly, and Kakashi had a bunch of scratches and his clothes was basically burned. Also, Kakashi's boots and pants was basically frozen because of Naruto's ice attacks and Hinata's ice attacks. As Kakashi Sensei panting at the same time, stating, "I'm gonna need a talk with the Hokage about this. These children have odd abilities." As both Hinata and Naruto are passed out on the ground. He just had to knock them out because seriously, it was getting a bit too much. As he ties up Sasuke to a pole and then basically puts Hinata and Naruto basically next to him. As he also they boiled lunches, they boiled like lunch, breakfast, food after the training, because they're not going to go without food hungry when they are told not to eat. They are going to bring food with them. Eventually Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata would wake up. Seeing that Sasuke is tired, Sasuke asking what the hell is happening. Kakashi stated that, "Sasuke, you are tied to the pole while the rest of your team is going to be busy eating for your punishment, and then you are going to go home, blah blah blah." Sasuke giving his still broody thing and stating that he's an Uchiha, he has somebody to kill. Yeah, and Kakashi Sensei telling the two of them not to feed him. Obviously, Naruto and Hinata, being the nicest people that they are and feeling sad for Sasuke, feeds him anyway and breaks the rule. Then learns that they have passed, as Kakashi states, the following: "Not completing the mission, you are scum, but abandoning your friends, you are worse than scum." Simple. As the whole teamwork thing was explained, as Naruto and Hinata did some hell of a teamwork. As at the same time they were quite worried that Kakashi Sensei was gonna spill their secret. Hinata obviously after speaking to Kakashi and Naruto alone, Kakashi agreed not to tell anyone else, but the Hokage needs to know about this, as they both agreed. As also, Naruto, yes, and I state Naruto, has asked Hinata if he could train with her. Seeing how she used her weapons and the way she fought, he thought that if they train together, because them two are the only people that can use this ability, that it would be unique and it would only make them stronger at the end. Hinata stuttering but agreeing at the same time to help with the training of his crush. And that's it, everybody. I'm going to end my story here. Until the next time, guys, if you like this what if, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Yeah, that's it, guys. So until the next video, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.